So let's play a game. What car do you think it is based on what you can see here? Wait a minute, there's a title to this video. You already know what car it is. We're really excited to have the newest competitor in the sports sedan class, the 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. Man, now I know why they nicknamed it the QV version, because that's a mouthful. Alfa Romeo, despite being revered by enthusiasts here in the States, left our market in 1995. And even though they've been back since 2008, they're back with a vengeance with this newest offering. First thing, this is just a beautiful car. Any angle, it really looks aggressive, athletic, and ready to pounce. It's just got a lot of the classic Alfa lines, but looks modern at the same time. We can't wait to try it out. You probably already know this has 505 horsepower and it absolutely screams, but we're gonna show you what you really need to know, and that is what mode to always drive it in. As a tribute to their heritage and their DNA, the different driving modes are dynamic, natural, and all-weather. The one you really care about is race mode, which you have to hold down here. Now that turns everything off, traction control, stability control, and it opens up the exhaust to give a great sound. Unfortunately, you can't tailor this, so you can't drive with the traction control on and the exhaust sounding like that, which is something we really would love here. So we're finally behind the wheel of this Alfa Giulia, and let me tell you, it's savage. The amount of power that they've extracted out of only 2.9 liters of displacement is really impressive. This thing pulls like a big block. I mean, it's got tons of torque, immediate power delivery, and it's actually got a really great engine note. It's a really guttural sound. It's unlike any other engine you'll really hear. While we're here in the race mode, we've got the dampers as firm as they'll go, the exhaust as loud as it'll go, all of the driver aids are off. But there's also other modes. This is the natural mode. You can tell the car immediately gets quieter, and in the all-weather mode, it really has maximum traction control, maximum stability control, in case you get caught in a snowstorm or whatever else. So with rear-wheel drive and this much horsepower, having these driver aids is really critical. These seats are extremely supportive and comfortable. The steering wheel has perfect thumb grips, but what's also cool about this wheel is it's aluminum, leather, suede, and carbon fiber. It's kind of all the great materials you'd want out of a sports sedan, a sporty car interior. Everything about this, even though there's some cues here that lead you to believe that there's maybe some sharing of parts with Mazda, the vents look very similar, some other things, and they do have a partnership, the two companies. We think it's a good thing though, because if it allowed them to shave a couple dollars off of the cost of this car, $72,000 is the starting price of the Quadrifoglio, which is really one of the lowest entry points, certainly for this much performance. When Alfa Romeo introduced this car, they told everyone there'd be a manual transmission version. It was in their press materials, and really it was only at the last minute that they said it was only going to come with this 7-speed automatic. But I will say this is about as good of a 7-speed automatic as you can get your hands on. It shifts extremely crisply. It's got these great Ferrari style tall shift paddles that make it easy to use. Overall, it doesn't feel like an automatic transmission. Do we really wish there was a 3-pedal version? Of course we do. We're enthusiasts after all. We'd have to check our pulse if we didn't want a manual transmission version, but that's still really incredible. I find myself, having driven this car a little while, in race mode, I have a hard time switching it out of race mode because it just sounds so fantastic. But it would be nice to be able to have race mode exhaust sound, so the loudest exhaust note, at the same time as having some of the driver aids. We've tried, and there's really no way to customize it. There's the 4 settings, there's a couple different damper settings, but overall, it's kind of, they've told you exactly how they feel you should set the car up. It's not very customizable. So this is an Alfa. It's a beautiful Alfa. It's a powerful Alfa. The real question is, how does it handle? And I can tell you, it's quite incredible. This thing It's got a ton of grip, but what's more important is it's got incredible feel. They've really put a lot into the suspension development of this car. It's kind of like driving a 4C that's comfortable and has space and you can drive every day, but it's got the sharpness, it's got the turn in, it's got great feedback, it's got incredible balance, and what's more is it's really catchable. This car communicates well and it's really easy to control. So great job, Alfa Romeo. You've given us exactly what we wanted. We first saw pictures of this car, everyone hoped that it would drive like this, and it does. One of the places you can definitely see the alignment with the Chrysler in Fiat Chrysler is in this infotainment system. It's kind of a standard parts bin system. What's really cool about it is it's got this frameless display, so you can't really see the size of the screen. Now, when you finally do see where the actual screen is, you'd wish it was a little bit bigger, but it's really cool how they've presented it here without a border. Our test car here doesn't have too many options on it, but one of the ones that it does is the driver assist package. It gives you blind spot monitoring, lane assist, collision avoidant braking, all of the safety features, active safety features you'd want. What's kind of cool about it is the lane assist warning sounds like rumble strips. So the first time I hit it, I'm like, oh, do they have rumble strips on this road? I didn't think they did have rumble strips on this road. Well, they didn't. It's actually how the sound is pumped through the speakers. Kind of tricks you, but it's a good way. It's a familiar sound that tells you to wake up. A lot of these systems have just an odd tone that they give you, and it doesn't really tell you much. And if you weren't really paying attention, you wouldn't notice it, but this is unmistakable. There's some little touches in here that when you're driving along remind you you're driving a really special car. One of which is you can see the underside of the hood through the cowl here when you're looking out forward. You can see the carbon fiber weave of the hood on the underside. And it's just a reminder, this car is covered with carbon. It's even got an active aero splitter in the front, so at certain speeds and with certain driving maneuvers, when you want front grip for braking and cornering and that sort of thing, that front splitter actually is motorized and will quickly drop down when it's needed. What's nice about that is you can get the performance benefit and it's not hanging low for just to scrape on every parking lot you try to drive into. So lots of really great tech and some great forethought as well in the design of this Alfa. As much as we love this Quadrifoglio version, you can get this in a base 2-liter version starting in the 40,000 range, and really it's a wonderful sedan even in those versions. And Alfa, this is a statement, this car, that they're back in the market. They advertised during the Super Bowl. They really want to make their presence known. The car is fantastic. Anyone that's in the market for a sports sedan, really owe it to yourself to go check this out, because it really does compete with everything else in the marketplace. Well, what do we think of this 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia? Well, it's an amazing car. Alfa Romeo is back with this car. They've been back for a few years, but dabbling with the 8C and then the 4C, those were really specialty cars. The fact that you can get this in a 2-liter version, an everyday version, an all-wheel drive version, but you can also get this fire-breathing 505 horsepower version in a package that looks like this, with performance like this, and at a price point right in line with all its competitors, this tells you that Alfa is here to stay.